Werewolf by Night, Blood Moon Rise, issue number 1 from Marvel Comics. I say issue number 1, but this is a one-shot. And this is actually written by Michael Giacchino. I hope I pronounced that name right. I probably didn't. But he is the director for the Werewolf by Night Disney Plus movie. He also works mostly as a composer in a bunch of other movies that you have heard of. But he hasn't done much writing. So I was kind of interested to see how he would do the Werewolf by Night, especially since he worked on Werewolf by Night, the Disney Plus movie, but he worked on that as a director, not as a writer. I will say that he does a pretty decent job when it comes to writing. So we'll just start right off. We have Jack, and he is just having memories, or I should say dreams, about how the moon pulls at something ancient within him. How he doesn't know if he is a man haunted by a monster or a monster pretending to be a man. And in this dream, he and this girl that he's with get attacked by this werewolf. And then he wakes up. What Jack does is every time the moon's about to come out and become full, he locks himself up in this room. Like it's just basically a cell, and there's like a keypad for him to escape. He locks himself in. He wakes up. He sees tattered clothing with blood that doesn't belong to him. He tries to put in the passcode to get out, and the code's not working. And he smashes the keypad, and that's when the door opens. And Dracula is on the other side. So yeah, we have Jack facing off against Dracula in this issue. And Jack realizes that this isn't his safe room. I'm just kind of wondering, did Dracula basically do a one-for-one recreation of Jack's safe room? How did Jack, as soon as he woke up, how did he not realize that this wasn't his safe room? If I were to wake up in bed, I would immediately know if I'm in my bed or not. Just looking around the room. So I'm just kind of picturing, Dracula, sneaking into Jack's safe room and just kind of, creating designs, maybe taking some pictures to make sure he can do, a one-for-one recreation of it. Make sure he even buys the right model for the keypad and just changes the password, obviously. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just... I just kind of amuse myself in that way, I guess. But of course, Jack attacks him, and Dracula just uses his powers to keep Jack at bay. And Dracula pretty much admits that he has been controlling Jack's sleep. He's been doing stuff to him while Jack has been sleeping. Which, if some old guy says, yeah, I've been doing things to you while you're dreaming, I'd be freaking out. But Jack doesn't know, why? Why are you doing this? Why are you messing with my head while I'm sleeping? Why are you controlling my dreams and messing with them? Dracula reveals, well, they're not just dreams. So basically what he's been doing is he's been controlling Jack and letting him loose on the populace. And Jack is wondering, okay, so whose blood is on the cloth? Dracula says innocents, criminals, sometimes volunteers, sometimes not. And Jack's like, why would you do this? And Dracula says, I'm shaping you to something useful. You should be thanking me. I delivered you peace while also preparing you for war. Which I'm really wondering, what the hell is this? What is he doing exactly? Preparing war for what? Dracula just pretty much says, save your questions, the moon rises again, and prepare yourself. And so he locks Jack in. And Jack starts transforming. Time for the werewolf to, take shape. But as that's happening, he hears a voice in his head. And the voice tells him to stay present, stay calm. And somehow it's able to get through to Jack. So Jack only kind of half transforms. He doesn't fully transform into the wolf. He just transforms a little bit. He still mostly looks like Jack, maybe just a little bit more hairier and with sharper claws. But he's in full control. And so when Dracula comes again to get him and to feed him, Jack attacks him. Jack is able to control his powers right now. So he pulls a chain around Dracula's neck, chucks him into a wall, and then shuts him inside. I'm just thinking, well, that's not going to last very long. Dracula can turn into mist. He can turn into bats. He can turn into all sort of things. He's going to easily be able to break through that door. But as Jack is running, he sees a bunch of cages, and he realizes that there are more people locked up in these cells. And one of them is the werewolf that was in Jack's dream, the one that attacked him. And so Dracula frees the wolf, says for him to attack Jack, and they start fighting each other, and somehow there's an explosion and the place erupts in fire. I don't know how this explosion started, You can't even really tell by these panels. It's just all of a sudden there's a boom, there's smoke, and then there's a raging fire. But we don't really see what exactly happened to start this fire. It seemed kind of convenient. But Jack is able to follow the voice in his head, and he comes across Man-Thing. At first I was like, oh, damn, it's Cthulhu. Cthulhu's been controlling his mind. And I'm like, oh, no, wait, this is Man-Thing. He does kind of look like Cthulhu, though, a little bit. But Man-Thing is able to talk to him telepathically, and he's the one that was able to get Jack in control of his powers. So Jack uses that moment to free Man-Thing, and they try to make their escape as Dracula shows up. So now we got a little bit of a showdown. And so Dracula shows up. He tries to get Jack to obey him, but then Man-Thing just uses his powers and stops him. And Dracula is forced to turn into a bat and make his escape. And so we just have Jack and Man-Thing, and they're walking away from the castle. And they basically start discussing that Dracula wasn't just containing us, he was collecting us. He knew something worse was coming, something he couldn't face alone, so he was building a pact to survive. And that's how it ends. And I'm just kind of like, this can't be just a one-shot, right? This has to be like setting up for something else. Because this was cool. I liked it. I liked the story. I like the characterization. I know some people might be upset about making Man-Thing like psychic and able to read people's minds and communicate with them in that way. At least I know that people were upset about that in the Werewolf by Night movie. So maybe there are some people going to be upset with that in the comic. I don't really mind. It's whatever. But I like this. I thought it was good. But it's not a one-shot. Like, this story, there are some stories that you can end it as a one-shot. This is not one of them. This is all, like, set up. You're setting up for something. But this is the only issue that we're going to get. There is no Werewolf by Night Blood Moon Rise issue number 2. Just issue number 1. So, I'm hoping maybe there's going to be, like, other stuff. Like, maybe the Blood Moon Rise is going to be part of some kind of, like, collection. Like some kind of event, even though I'm kind of sick and tired of events. Like the story has to continue in some way. You can't just end it like this. So as an issue, I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought the artwork was pretty decent. I liked the characters. I think that Michael did a really good job with the writing. As someone who's not known for their writing, like I said, he's in the movie and television industry, he's mostly a composer. And I think he's only directed like 2 things, one of them being the Werewolf by Night movie. And he's only ever written like one thing, which I think might have been a short. I don't really know. But yeah, he's not known for his writing. So as someone not known for their writing, I thought the writing was pretty good. My only complaint is that this can't be a one-shot. This has to be a setup for something else. As a one-shot, it does not work at all. As a setup, as like an introduction issue, setting up for more content, it works perfectly. I don't know if I can say recommend it. I mean, I told you the entire story, so if you want to read it for yourself, go for it. If you like Werewolf by Night and just want something to collect, go for it. But if you want to read this thinking that it's going to be setting up for an actual payoff, I don't know, because I haven't heard anything about this being part of a series. As far as I know, this is just a one-shot, but maybe someone with more knowledge can tell me. So yeah, as a one-shot, doesn't work. As a setup issue, as an issue to like set up a ongoing story to set up for something bigger, it works great. So I kind of have mixed thoughts about this issue. Perfect setup, love the characters and art and stuff like that. Didn't like the ending, didn't like that it's setting up for something that might never happen. I need my payoff. So there you go. There's Werewolf by Night, Blood Moon Rise, issue number 1. Maybe this will, like, I'm hoping that we'll get more Werewolf by Night. I know there was another Werewolf by Night. I covered, like, 1 issue on this channel, and I did read more. I just didn't do videos on them. I didn't really care for that one too much, which is a shame. Like, I want to see more Werewolf by Night stuff. I love Werewolf by Night. I think it's fantastic. I brought Werewolf by Night up multiple times in my Moon Knight series. That's, like, the only way that that's the only knowledge I really have of Moon Knight, other than, like, a couple of other stuff. It's mostly just because of his introduction in Werewolf by Night. So I want to see more great Werewolf by Night stories. I thought this was a good setup. Hopefully we'll get a payoff. I'm kind of rambling at this point, but I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.